Hey guys, so I'm going to do a little bit of a different video today. So since I have a lot of people who are new to the page in the recent weeks or maybe over the last couple of months, I wanted to do a video where I kind of show you the feedback that I've gotten from the SMT Indicator so you can see how it's helping people every day. And then I also want to walk you through how to get it set up, and then I want to do an entire recap of every single 5-minute alert this entire week. So this past week has been a really volatile week in the markets. It was tough to trade several days. If you caught the downside, you did pretty well, but a lot of people were trying to buy those dips and ended up catching a falling knife. So I'm going to walk through every single one of those alerts, and I'm going to show you step by step how to get it integrated. So this is something that I think a lot of people would benefit from, because to actually find my tutorial videos, you would have had to scroll pretty far back on my page, and I tweet a lot, so that was a little bit of a hassle. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just some of the kind messages that I've gotten from people. So right here, took a call for 27% here on SPY. This was the craziest one. So the other day, somebody used the SMT indicator. You can see the red alert here and the levels to make over $7,000 on this play here. And this was this week. 50% here off of this put alert. 29% as soon as it got installed. 44% for the entire account using the 1-minute chart. 25% here. Let's see, 40% in 1 minute and 20 seconds. This guy, first week with the indicator, did 120% on his account. So cool stuff like that. Anytime people give me feedback, I love to see it. It makes me really happy. It makes me kind of more motivated to continue to improve this for you guys, and hopefully we can all be successful together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you exactly how to get it set up. So if you go to my site, which is linked in my bio, you can actually just go ahead and purchase it right here for 20 bucks. So you get 13 indicators. So you get my SMT indicator, you get 12 different key levels, and then you also get an unusual volume alert, which is pretty cool. So it's 20 bucks a month. You also get a copy of the 74-page PDF, which will be sent to you as soon as you purchase. Cool stuff. But then once you get that set up, you're going to get a notification and a confirmation email. So once you get that notification, you're going to go to your indicators. And if you go to invite only scripts, you will see all of them be added here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my SPY 5-minute chart. Now, the first thing that I want to make sure you guys do is if you go into your account right here at the top left, you click on account and billing, and then you can see that if you scroll down, you can see add extra market data right there. And then you can go ahead and open this up, and then if you scroll down, you will see that there is ARCA right here for $3 a month. So you want to add that if you can. That'll give you a lot more accurate quotes, and so you'll be able to get the most precise indications. So now that you have that, you're going to go to your indicators, and then you're going to go to your invite only scripts. And I'm going to add, because I'm using SPY, I want to add the SMT indicator with Fibonacci retracements. So you click on that, and you're going to see right away we have a ton of good stuff here. So you're going to see that we have our crossovers, we have our EMAs right here. So you have your 9 and your 21 EMA as well as your 205 EMA. And if you just go into your settings really quick, just like that, and then you can see actually your inputs, your styles. So if you go here, you can see the colors. You can see the 9, the 21, the 5, and the 200. You can change the colors. You have your buy and sell. You can change the colors and if it appears below or on top of the bar. I'm going to uncheck these plot previous high of day. So once you get that added to your chart, you can see that you will have all that stuff. You'll get your buy and sell arrows right here. And what you can actually do is if you go into the alarm button right here and you click create alert, you can go ahead in this drop down and select the SMT indicator, and for any time frame, so you can see here I'm on the 5-minute. If you change your time frame, it'll automatically adjust. You can set an alert, and so you can do like a buy signal for every time. You can do it once per bar, you can do it every minute, whatever you want. I keep them as open-ended. If you don't have a pro plan or something like that, you can just keep putting it a couple months out and you don't have to worry about that. You can put a custom alert name, so I would have done like 5-minute buy signal for SPY. If you go to your notifications, you can use Notify on app, which is if you have push notifications on your app. I use that all the time. You can have a pop-up. You can have a play sound. You can choose what kind of sound, how frequently, how long that sound is. Pretty cool. So I use those all the time. So when I'm not at my trading desk, or if I'm at the gym, I'm using my phone, I still get those alerts so I can be on watch. Excuse me. So you'll see these fib levels. I want to break these down really quickly. So these yellow fibs are 50 and 61.8% retracements. If you kind of dig a little bit deeper into understanding Fibonacci retracements, you'll know that the power of kind of like the two most powerful levels are the 50 and the 61.8, and then these red ones are the rest of them, which I believe are the 0, the 23.6, I know there's a 78.2, I think, 100. There's just a bunch of different ones, but they all serve their purpose. So once you have that added, I also coded a key levels script. So if you go here, we can look and we can see SPY key levels. So we can throw that on there, and that honestly gives us plenty of scalp targets and entries and exits for our plays. So once I've done that, pretty simple. The last thing I really want to do here is draw my supply and demand zones. So if I go to my 15-minute chart, we're going to start with Monday, right? Because Monday was the first day of the week. So let's go ahead and bring this back all the way to Monday. So now that I have all this good stuff, there is a couple of things that I want to add on here, right? Now, you don't have to add MACD because it's technically integrated into the indicator, but I like to visually see it. So I'm going to go ahead and type in MACD. I'm going to add MACD to my chart. Just like that. I use the default settings, and then we want to get VWAP. VWAP is incredibly important. It is a very strong kind of dynamic support and resistance that's just kind of calculating the volume weighted average price. So I'm going to go into my VWAP settings. I'm going to disable the upper bands and the lower bands and the band fill, and then I'm going to choose whatever color. I prefer orange to distinguish it from the rest of my moving averages. And then finally, the last indicator is the BB indicator, and this will automatically plot your high and low of day as well as your pre-market low and high. So now I got plenty of stuff on my chart. Once I enter a position, I have a good idea of where the next target's going to be and what levels I'm watching for. And the last thing I want to do is kind of just draw my supply and demand zones so I can understand some potential key pivot points on my chart. So I'm going to go to my rectangle tool here. I'm going to go ahead and draw in the low of day demand zone there. We can also do some low of day demand zones in other areas, just like that. I'm going to draw these in really quickly. And then I can even do, we want to add the high of day zone from this day as well. So you can draw that in. And then, let's see here. This could potentially be a good zone to watch as well. So I draw in a few zones. The zones are important. I probably would typically do overhead zones as well, so we can go and we can see that we have some areas we can draw overhead zones. This was the high of day. We can go to the next candle, and then that should honestly cover us. That's pretty good. Just to be safe, we can grab one more zone. It's a small zone right there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my 5-minute chart and let us walk through every single 5-minute alert for the week and how we could have played those to make some money. So let's begin here. I'm not going to narrate the price action. I'm just going to wait for that alert, and we will see how we could have played that. Pretty cool how this demand zone is being respected. Look at that. Okay, so we have an alert here. Now, what we want to be careful for is if we get a sell alert. So you can see we actually close right below VWAP. But if we close above VWAP, I tend to wait until we close below VWAP before I enter, even if I get the signal. That's just me. I don't, because I know the strength of VWAP. I know that the same thing with the 200 EMA, that my risk greatly increases if we have that in the way. So once we close below VWAP, we can enter a put position. Sometimes what I like to do on days with a little bit more range is I'll draw some targets. So this would probably be where I'd be looking to take my profits, probably these levels right here. If you're really conservative, you can draw that level, but you can enter puts right there. Look at that, huge drop. That was the first indication on the 5-minute chart for the week. Really nice play right there off this triple top reversal. Could have made some good money there. Hit all of our targets and continued. So that was a beautiful alert on the 5-minute chart. That was the first one for the week to get us started. Let's just continue on to the next days. That was a nice pre-market alert. We got that sell signal and it kind of followed through the entire day. So this is Tuesday. So let's go ahead and see what we get today. So when we start out, with an early alert in pre-market that just kind of continues through the day, and our momentum is just, it's completely kind of uniform throughout the day, if you will. So if we start in a bearish trend and we never reverse, then you probably won't get alerts on the larger time frames. Like the 5-minute, we were looking for momentum shifts. So if you go down to the smaller time frames, 1, 2, 3 minute, then you'll probably be able to play those momentum shifts because as you go to shorter time frames, you're catching more volatility, if you will. So nothing there. Yep, so we didn't get any alerts on Tuesday, but there were a few opportunities. You could have played these 21 and EMA rejections, the VWAP rejections. You could have played a lot of different things here. So there were still opportunities for trades, just not necessarily using the indicator. So I'm going to switch to a higher time frame so we can get through pre-market a little bit quicker. Okay, let's go back to the 5. Oh, look at that. All right, there we go. So right away, you see that we have this buy signal. So this buy signal right here, if we were to enter this position, we would probably use our 21 EMA as our stop loss. Even if you use the 9 EMA, we never close below the 9 EMA, so I like to use these EMAs as stops. You could enter right here. The next target you're looking for is pre-market high. You can see that we kind of pulled back a little bit, and then we shot up and we hit pre-market high in the 200 EMA, so that would have been a nice call. I do remember I actually played that myself, so that was nice. And there we go. So you can see here that we get this sell signal. So the sell signal right here, you know, that honestly probably is, we're going to consider that a failure, right? The signal is, or the indicator and the strategy together are 80% win rate. So 1 out of every 5 we expect to not work, and this is one of those. We could say that while it did not work, and that's a loss, you can see that we closed right at the bottom of this zone. So it's not a huge surprise that we got a reversal off of this demand zone. It's kind of the nature of these demand zones and why we draw them. So you could have waited for us to close below this demand zone, but still, you know, we fit all the criteria. It did look like a good place to buy a put. We had the rising volume, we had everything going for us, the candle was nice, but it just reversed on us, which happens. So again, right here, you could have entered this call, and you can see that if you would have entered this call right here, you would look to take it to the high of day. You don't want to, we know that high of days are very strong resistance points, so you can enter right here and then take your scalp to high of day, which we did go a little bit past the previous high of day, which is a key level, so we did end up hitting our price target. It's just a pretty small win right there, but still a win regardless. So that's the next 5-minute alert. Oh, this was a really nice one. Wow. So we got this 5-minute alert right here. As I said before, personally, I get a little bit weary taking entries right below VWAP for a call, so I probably wouldn't have entered this, and I didn't play this. But regardless, I mean, even if you waited for us to crack through VWAP and hopped in there, you would have gotten, you know, a gain. I mean, even if you waited for this candle close, you would have gotten a gain. I mean, this was just a crazy run-up that was alerted pretty early on with the 5-minute alert, which is awesome. So that was Wednesday. So let's go ahead and get into Thursday. All right, let's go back to the 5-minute chart here. Oh, look at that. It's a pre-market alert, but it was still a nice alert right here on this big buy candle that you could have taken to the top of this supply zone. Oh, and even more. This was a nice run up off that buy signal pre-market. Okay, so now we are on Thursday. We're kind of approaching the end of the week here. Can't remember if we got any signals on Thursday. We likely didn't if this was, you can see that we had these bearish, or so we did have bullish momentum, and then we had a bearish shift. Now, the indicator did not go off just because the criteria weren't necessarily met, so you won't be able to catch necessarily every single momentum shift, but what we want to do is we want to make sure that when we get that alert, it is as robust as possible. And just the nature of doing that is we may miss some other opportunities, but we know that when we get an alert, that is one of the best opportunities. So lots of places you could have played the downside on Thursday, not necessarily using the alert. I mean, you can see we had this bounce off of this demand zone, and then we cleanly rejected the 21 EMA, and then even had this bearish engulfing candle below both the 9 and 21 EMA. That would have been a great entry. And then you could have just, honestly, if you just use the 9 EMA as your moving stop, you could have taken these puts all the way down to here where we had this nice bounce and closed above the 9, and you could have scaled out there. So lots of great places to take trades. Let's go ahead and finish out the week on Friday, which was just another heavy selling day. Look at that. So we got that signal right there on the candle before market open, and right after that we had this nice bearish downtrend here. 3 bearish candles. I think they're called like a 3 black crows. And then we found a little bit of support here on this fib level. We keep dumping. Alright, there we go. So we have this sell signal right here. We enter our puts position. We're just looking to take it to this very strong support on this fib level right here, so we can enter our puts there, take our profits right there, and get that nice little scalp. And we actually do end up hitting our price target exactly, which is a strong, I mean, you can see this fib level held 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, 6 times. So of course, when we get our puts there, we're going to take our profits as soon as we test this key level. So that was a nice 5-minute scalp on puts. And honestly, if you kept holding, this was a huge downside move that kind of just continued until later. And then we have our, I think this is the last signal for the week. So right there, we got our buy signal. Now we don't have a lot of room here. You can take this buy signal, but you can see that pre-market low is right there. So if you were to enter this, you really got to be careful. It probably would have been better on futures just because you can take a clean move right there without worrying about your theta on your contract. But you can, I mean, if you're going to enter this, you just take it to pre-market low. That's a key level. Hop in. We go through pre-market low, and we actually go even further up for a nice gain where we hit this fib level resistance, and then we get a pretty nice sell-off from there. And then I think it's just down. Yep, right there. So those are all the 5-minute alerts for the week. Hopefully this video was helpful to you guys, and yeah, appreciate it.